This is your yoga for strength Vinyasa class. Hi friend, welcome back to your practice. I am Katie Arnold, and for today's strength building Vinyasa class, I am going to recommend that you have a block or something that could easily replace a block. So go ahead, grab your prop, roll out your yoga mat, and I will meet you right back here. All right, friends, so we're gonna get started in a child's pose, bringing those big toes to touch, knees out about as wide as your yoga mat. Walk your hands out in front of you, and just let your forehead rest down onto your mat. Allowing your belly to soften in between the thighs. And start to invite in some stillness, some softness, some ease into the practice. So knowing that as this class builds, we'll build some strength, we'll build some heat. But within that strength, can you also find some softness, some gentleness? Knowing that this child's pose that we're in right here, right now, is always accessible, always available. Giving yourself some grace and some compassion for where your body is at today. Take a big breath in through your nose. And a big sigh out of an open mouth. Big inhale breath. Big sigh to let it go. Inhaling through the nose. This time, slight constriction at the back of the throat. Exhale back out through the nose. Creating our ocean sounding breath. Let your next inhale pull you up to a neutral tabletop position. Your wrists are going to come underneath your shoulders, your knees right underneath your hips, long spine. And then inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze coming through cow pose. Exhale, belly button to spine, chin to chest for cat. Inhale is your cow pose, heart shines forward, gaze pulls forward. Exhale through cat, spine rounds, pulling up towards the ceiling. Again, inhale, belly drops. Exhale, spine rounds. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, neutral tabletop. Bringing that left hand down in front of your face. Inhale, sweep that right arm up and open. And exhale, thread it underneath the left. Right shoulder comes down to the mat. Left hand can stay in front of your face, or you can walk it forward towards the top of your mat. One more inhale breath. If you moved that left hand on your exhale, bring it back down in front of the face. Press into the palm. Inhale, sweep that right arm back up and open. And exhale, bring it back down onto your mat. Pressing into that right hand. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, thread it underneath the right. Left shoulder down. Right hand can stay in front of the face, or you can walk it forward towards the top of your space. Keeping those hips elevated. One more breath in. Return that right hand. Press into the right palm. Inhale, left arm sweeps up and open. Exhale back to your neutral tabletop position. Start to step those right toes back. Step the left toes back and just land in a high plank pose. And knowing at any point you can always drop down onto your knees when you're in a plank, but I want you to still keep that core engagement. Whether your knees are down or your knees are lifted. And then press the mat away. Broaden through the collarbones, through the shoulders. Create that long line of energy. One big breath in. Exhale, let your hips go high, downward facing dog. Take a round of breath. Maybe invite some movement into your downward facing dog. And start to walk your hands to the back of your mat. Forward fold back of your space. Bring your hands to your shins. Inhale up, halfway lift, long spine, flat back. Exhale and fold forward. Root down through those feet. Inhale, stand all the way up, sweeping the arms up and overhead. Exhale, let your hands come back down through heart center. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinging at your hips, fold all the way back down. Inhale that flat back. Pull that core in. Exhale, walk the hands all the way back out to your high plank pose. Big inhale breath. Exhale, lower all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes. Elbows hugging in nice and close. Inhale, lift your head, lift your chest, baby cobra. So tops of your feet pressing down into the mat. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower all the way back down. Inhale up through your tabletop, or maybe you press all the way up to a high plank. Exhale, back down dog. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Inhale that right leg high behind you. Exhale, step it through in between your hands. Soften that left knee down to the mat. Inhale, let your arms reach up, low lunge. Take a breath in. Big breath out. Trying to keep that right knee directly over that right ankle, not letting the knee come past the toes. Big breath in. Exhale, hands down to the mat, curl those left toes under, step it back, high plank pose. Big inhale breath. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Stay for your inhale. Exhale, walk it to the back of your mat, forward fold, back of your space. Inhale up, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, hands come down through heart center. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale up, halfway lift. Exhale, walk it out, high plank pose. So I'm going to give you some options here. I'm going to walk you through a chaturanga. But if you want to take this from your knees, you can do so. If you want to take that high plank to your belly and take another baby cobra instead of a full up dog, you'll have that option here. So from this high plank pose, inhale, take a gentle shift forward. Shoulders are going to come past the wrist creases. Exhale, lower halfway down. Elbows are in close to the side of the body. Tops of your feet to the mat. Upward facing dog. Shine that heart forward. Pull those shoulder blades down. Exhale, back down dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale that left leg high behind you. Exhale, step it through in between your hands. Right knee softens to the mat this time. Untuck the toes. Inhale, sweep those arms high. And check in with your breath. Notice if it's gotten away from you. Notice if the shoulders are pulling up into the ears, and can you gently drop them slightly? Take a breath in. Big breath out. One more inhale. Exhale, hands down to the mat. Curl those right toes under. Step it back. High plank pose. Big inhale. Exhale, hips high, down dog. Take a couple rounds of breath. If your block or block replacement is not up at the top of your mat or top of your space, go ahead and just take a moment to move it there. One more full round of breath. Inhale that right leg high behind you. Exhale, step it through in between your hands. Keeping that back heel lifted. Inhale, sweep your arms up, crescent lunge. So we're in a high lunge position. Just like when we had that back knee down, right knee over the right ankle. Hips square with the front of your space. Like you have light beams coming out of your front hip points, pointing straight ahead. Big breath in. Big breath out. One more inhale breath. Exhale, bring your hands to the mat, low lunge, and then hopping that left foot about halfway up your mat. Planting the foot all the way down, starting to straighten that right leg. This is a great place to grab that block. We're in our pyramid pose, so hips are still gonna stay square. Pull that right hip back, pull that left hip forward slightly. Hands can be on any level of that block, and you might find you don't even need that block. You might like to tent your fingertips here, but I kind of like to have it as an option. Big breath in. Big breath out. Bend into that right knee. Shift your weight into that right foot. Inhale, lift that left leg behind you, standing out. Flexing those left toes down towards your mat. And trying to create that long spine. Another great place to have those hands on the block right here. Big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Both feet meet at the top of your space. Move that block out of the way. Big toes touch, little space between your heels. Inhale, bend your knees, sink your seat, chair pose. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Feel those inner thighs hugging together. Big inhale, breath. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, up, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back, high plank pose. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, upward facing dog, or maybe you take that cobra. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Connect with your breath. Inhale that left leg high behind you. Exhale, step it through in between your hands. Inhale, arms reach up, landing in our crescent pose. Check in with that solid foundation. If you feel like you're on a tightrope, heel toe that left foot a little bit more to the left side of your mat. Let it feel more like railroad tracks here. Big breath in. Big breath out. Big inhale breath. Exhale, hands come down to the mat, low lunge, and then hopping that right foot about halfway up your mat. Maybe you grab that block. Square those hips. Pull that right hip forward, left hip back. Slight bend in that left knee as you start to bring your weight into that left foot and lift that right leg behind you. And in this standing L pose, think about internally rotating that right thigh up towards the ceiling. So that inner right thigh is going to pull a little bit more towards the ceiling. And it's okay if you can't get that leg parallel today. We are always a work in progress. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, both feet meet top of your space. Move that block out of the way. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward, big toes touch. Inhale, chair pose, sink that seat down. Now, if it doesn't feel good to have the feet and the knees touching, bring them hips with distance, but still keep that active thigh hug. Big inhale breath. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the mat, step it back. Take your variation of a flow, or just press yourself back to downward facing dog. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale that right leg high behind you. Exhale, step it through in between your hands. Inhale, reach up for crescent. Stay for the breath out. One inhale breath. Exhale is that low lunge. Maybe grabbing that block. Inhale, stepping halfway up, landing in your pyramid pose. Big inhale breath. Big exhale. Inhale, standing out, left leg lifts. Breath out. Breath in. Exhale, forward fold, top of your space. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose, sink that seat down, sweep those arms up. Breath out. Big breath in. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, make your way to downward facing dog. So you can take a flow, you can choose to skip it, your choice. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale that left leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale up for crescent. Stay for the breath out. Big inhale. Exhale, low lunge. Grabbing that block. Inhale up for pyramid. Breath out. Inhale, shift it forward, standing L. Exhale, breath. Big inhale. Exhale, forward fold, top of your space. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sink that seat down. Exhale, stay right here. Big breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, take your flow or meet me in downward facing dog. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale that right leg high. Exhale, right knee to your right elbow. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, send it high. Exhale, bring that right knee behind that right wrist. Set yourself up, half pigeon pose. Squaring those hips. Left leg is long. And if this half pigeon is not accessible in your body today, roll onto your back and just take a figure four, crossing your right ankle over your left thigh. Take a breath in with me. If you're in that half pigeon, you can stay right here, or maybe you start to lower down onto your forearms. First, coming back up into tall arms. And we'll all meet in our downward facing dog. So if you took a figure 4 instead of a half pigeon, give you a couple of breaths to make your way back to your downward facing dog. Inhale that left leg high behind you. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, crunch it in. Inhale, send it back. Exhale, left knee, right elbow, crossing it underneath the body. Inhale, send it high. Exhale, right or left knee behind the left wrist. Setting up for your half pigeon or rolling onto your back to take your figure 4. If you are in this half pigeon, take a breath in. Maybe you come down onto those forearms. You're in that half pigeon. First, come back up into tall arms. We'll all meet in our downward facing dog. So if you're in your figure 4, make your way back to your down dog. Once again, this is our final down dog of class today. If there's anything else that you need out of your downward facing dog, now is a beautiful time to take it. Inhale, shift it forward to a high plank pose. Stay for the breath out. Big inhale, breath. Exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Untuck the toes, tops of your feet come to the mat. Arms long down by your side. Zip those legs up. On an inhale breath, lift your head, lift your chest, lift your legs, lift your arms, locust pose. Letting that gaze be neutral. Taking your gaze wherever feels best in your neck today. And then keep that breath going. One more big breath in. Exhale, lower all the way back down. Once the hips hit, maybe gently shimmy the hips side to side. You can stack your hands and let your forehead rest down on stacked hands. We'll take one more locust pose. So you can either take the variation that we just did, or if you want to add a little bit more strengthening to your practice today, grab your block. Bring it into your hands. On an inhale breath, lift your head, lift your chest, lift your legs, lift your arms with that block in between your hands. And just notice how already that fires on the back just a little bit more. Inhale, breath. Big exhale. Breath in. Breath out. One more inhale. Can you lift everything a little bit higher? Exhale, lower all the way down. Lose that block if you had it. Stack your hands. Let your forehead rest on your stacked hands. Maybe shimmy the hips a little. Gently pressing yourself up. You can also just flip over onto your back like a pancake for the purpose of the cinematography of this yoga class. Flipping, or I had to lift myself up first, but you can just flip right over like a pancake. Once you get on your back, bring your knees into your chest, take a couple of rocks side to side or circle those knees. You do take circles, making sure to switch the direction. Bringing those knees into your chest and gently dropping them over towards the right. Left arm can come out of your shoulder. Maybe you gaze over that left shoulder if it feels okay. Inhale back up through center. And exhale, take it over to the left. Right arm out of the right shoulder. Maybe taking your gaze over the right shoulder as well. And now bringing your knees into your chest. Wrapping your arms around your shins. Let your nose come up to your knees. Big breath in. Exhale, extending out to your Shavasana. Legs and arms go out long. Letting those feet turn out. Palms facing up towards the ceiling. Taking any of the work out of this posture for you. Take a big breath in through the nose. And a big sigh out of an open mouth. Gently start to wiggle fingers and toes. Bring some small movement back into the body. Might feel nice to take a big good morning stretch, reaching long from your fingertips all the way down to your toes. And then rolling over onto your right side, coming into a fetal position. And then gently pressing yourself up to an easy seat. rooting down through your sit bones, lengthening one vertebrae at a time all the way up through the crown of your head. And now sweeping those arms out nice and wide, palms meeting overhead. Pull the hands down through heart center, Anjali Mudra. Big inhale breath. Big exhale breath. Om Shanti, peace. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you are feeling strong after this class. Come back to it as many times as you want to, as you need to. And I have a free download for you in the description of this video for a mindful movement class calendar, which helps you tap into where your body is at every day to decide if your movement practice that day should be something a little bit more powerful and a practice that you could choose in that instance, or something a little bit slower or more restorative. So grab that mindful movement class calendar in the link in the description below, and I will see you back on your mat for your next yoga practice.